Alrighty, just after 5 o'clock on day 4. I think I'm about to call it quits. I'm knackered. Today was a tough day. Another 8 or so hours. Didn't feel like I got much progress, but had a bit of a clean up in here. First thing I did this morning, although it's just full of crap again. I think today I managed to get rid of all of the box around there. A bit of a crack opened up. Hopefully it's just superficial. Got all of that off. Also started, oops, going into shadow. Also started playing down here with grinding away the bottom of the wall to try and see how that recess will look, the shadow line. I'm not sure if you can really sort of see it, but that is sort of back under, I don't know, maybe 20 mil or something like that. So I just got stuck into that with the angle grinder, just ran it along the floor, and that seemed to open up about the right size gap. So I'm thinking maybe tomorrow I might go to a place and get a piece of the like the trim that you put on the bottom, which creates the shadow line, and sort of see how it's going to fit and see if it's something that I feel like I can tackle myself, or if I'm going about it the right way. You can sort of see the shadow it creates down here a little bit there in comparison to how it's all sort of rough as guts there. So yeah, we'll see. I might go and do that tomorrow morning, just see if I can get a piece of that and see how it's going to turn out. Had a couple of more tradies through today. The concrete guy had a look at it, and I sent him off the floor plans with all the dimensions so he could get back to me with a quote, and he did that this afternoon, which was good. About just over $6.5 grand, I think, to do the whole house, which is a lot of money. Oh, Al's just turned up. Hello, Al, for the first time today. I'll pause this and I'll come back and do it again. I'll start up again in a minute. Okay, sorry about that. Al just popped in for 5 minutes. It's the first time I've seen her all day, and she's just scooted back off to work. So yeah, we just had a quick chat about the, I'm not sure where I was up to with my last video, but I think concreters came round. They said we can do it, and we just had a quick, me and Al just had a quick chat about it then, and we reckon that we might get that done first of all, possibly, because that's going to be obviously a big one. We'll sit down and think about it a bit more tonight. Yeah, and just poured, because legend has it that if you pour water on the concrete, that sort of gives you an indication of what it's going to look like. So I just poured a cup of water on it there, and you can see it's sort of like chalk and cheese compared to everything else. So I think that's going to be really, really good. I was scared it was going to be too light, like the rest of it, and the whole place was just going to be like a bloody sterile hospital ward or something, you know, with really white walls, which is what we're going for. And if the concrete came up this sort of colour, then that would probably be a problem as well, because I think it would just lacks a bit of character. But pouring some water on it, you can see it really makes a big difference. So that makes me happy, which is great. I like being happy. Probably the biggest thing that I got done today, and anybody watching this that's contemplating doing it, I can just don't, was I bashed out that wall. Well, the wall across the top of the door there. Now that was hard work. That was real hard work. I was thinking about getting like a brick saw and cutting through it, but I sort of sat here and weighed up my options, and as you can see, there's some cables and stuff running down, and I was really reluctant to just go for a brick saw and just cut through the whole thing, because if you slice through those cables, well, I think you'll know about it. Yeah, so what I actually did was I got my trusty spirit level and just made a line on the existing wall above the door, just vertical, that lined up with that. Then took the angle grinder with a big grinding disc and actually just sort of scored a mark down there, so I knew where I was chipping away at. only did it on this side, well, both sides of this wall, but only on this side of the door. And once I did that, then I really just got the sledgy and just started bashing the crap out of it. And eventually, you know, the plaster started falling off, and then the bricks started coming out one by one. And as you can see, it's just absolute mayhem in here. There's just piles of shit everywhere. It's epic. And I kept some good bricks because I'm going to have to patch back in this side. Now, the reason I had to go so wide in that particular spot, a couple of reasons. One, the cables. I really wasn't sure exactly where they were running. And two, this level here was actually the original top of the door. And what they do is there's this big metal sheet which is really big and thick. It's, I don't know, it's at least 10 mil thick. And that's actually the support that sits up on here and runs across to there. And you can see if I go up the ladder here that there's still some of it left in there. I actually had to get the angle grinder in there and cut through that as well, because I really couldn't pull it out of the wall there. Not with both sides attached anyway. This is now a little bit loose, so I might be able to get it out, but that's not a biggie. But you can see that's actually where it sat on. So I had to chip all of that out to get that metal plate out, and I've got to re-brick it, which I'll use those bricks outside to do at some stage. Up here, the ceilings, I measured the ceilings first to make sure that there wasn't any massive differences, and there wasn't. There's only a few mil in it, and we've got a big joist sitting there which we can use just to patch up between these two pieces of plasterboard and level it all off, I hope. So that should look pretty seamless with a bit of luck. Yeah, the other thing I'm not sure about was what we wanted to do was actually take this right back to here, but I just don't know how the hell we're going to do it. We really wanted that all flush down through there, but that's going to be a really big mission. As you can see, the bricks are all really well finished down along here. So I don't know. I mean, we were just talking about it just then, and the only thing I can think is maybe if we get one of those big brick saws and sort of cut in, because there's no way we'll be able to get a brick saw straight down through there, I don't think, depending on the orientation of the blade, I suppose. But maybe if we sort of cut in at an angle like that to get the majority of all of this out, and then just manually chip away to get it square. I'm not sure. That's a real big one. I don't know what the hell we're going to do about that. So either we tackle that and try and take it right back, or we leave it as it is. I wish I didn't have this ladder here so we could actually see through it, but you can sort of see now it goes all the way to the ceiling. So it sort of removes the separation between the two rooms and lets it flow a bit better. Well, that's the plan anyway, so we've got to put it all back together now. Yeah, that took up the majority of the day, to be honest. That took a good probably 4 hours to do that by hand without any fancy tools. Yeah, so pretty sore from doing that. We had another render guy, well, who we thought was a render guy come around today, but he's actually a professional renovator. I don't know what that's meant to mean, but yeah, so we actually sat down for about an hour and a half, and it turns out there's probably not much he can really do for us, which is weird. I don't know why he bothered to come out then, because we're really looking at plasterers and stuff, but we ended up talking for about an hour and a half just about, different things, how to do these bottom corners, how to do the cornices. The biggest issue is with this kind of stuff around the windows. How do we get that all flush, which is what we wanted. Sorry, it's bad light there. But anyway, because he said if you plaster right up to the end of the edge of the wood, the wood can move, the walls expand and contract in the heat in different rates, and he said guaranteed 100% it'll crack. So that's kind of stumped me on that. So I don't know whether we do a trim around it. I've put a trim back on or something. I don't know. To be honest, it's becoming a bit overwhelming at the moment. It just takes so long to do everything, and then you sort of pull something down and you find something else and you go, oh, that should be easy to fix. We'll just do this and this, and then you talk to someone and they go, no, it doesn't work like that, and you just feel drained, and you're just like, wow. So I'm really beginning to think maybe we've bitten off more than we can chew. Not ultimately, but just in the time frame that we've got. We've got to be in, actually, well, we've given notice to our old place and we've got to be out 3 weeks today. And in about 2.5 weeks, I go to the States. So this place has got to be livable. So the floors have got to be done. Ideally, you know, all the cornices, all the skirting boards or lack of skirting boards have to be patched up and done. The floors have to be ground back and sealed. Now that's about a 6-day process apparently to do that, so straight away we lose a week. And then, you know, just how do you fix this? Like, what do you do? How do you take it off? Do you flush up the ceiling? And then when you take it off, what do you find behind? I've got no idea. So I'm a bit overwhelmed at the moment, so I think that's why I'm packing it up early tonight, and I'll go home and regroup and see what happens. So yeah, that's it. If I make it to tomorrow, I'll be back again and I'll do another video. Okay, see ya.